So I have to call this episode, we're going to call this episode the I Told You So episode, but in a good way. Um, for those who have been watching this for a while, you knew this day was coming. We talked about it. There were footprints in the sand, so to speak. There were definitely hints out there that it was coming. I've even put together videos where I've said, in the next few days, you're going to just absolutely get rich and make a killing. Now, granted, maybe it was more than a couple days, but it was pretty darn close. Now, for those who also, I said, I'm going to watch this guy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And you didn't invest. Today was your repudiation because you missed out on a massive, massive day. Particularly last week when we talked about the fact that, they were talking about the reason the stock market went up last week was because Biden won. No, not so much. We talked about it, domestic manufacturing data and Chinese manufacturing data. Well, today, basically, Pfizer came out with results from a phase 3 study, which is just its efficacy stating, like they've gone through safety and shows that it's not really hurting people. It's not a detrimental virus necessarily. But how many people, if you gave it to 100 people, did it actually immunize? And it came out at 90, which is really amazing. They thought even for an emergency use authorization, it would be anything over 50 would be good. So that happened, and I knew something was up. I didn't know what it was. I knew last night because the pre-markets trading was just through the roof. I mean, not through the roof. It was pretty high. And came open today, and we gained 20% today, basically gained $13,000 on our portfolio. And the winners are just pretty much, there's very few down ones today, but just some notable ones because the numbers are just ridiculous. We have Southernly Hotels, remember my new favorite stock that I said I always had a soft spot in my heart for. Well, it's a good thing I did because it went up 64% today. International Airlines Group, this one was negative for a little bit, went up 25% today. That was actually one of the more moderate gains. Braemar Hotels, which had led us for a little bit of time overall, especially in the June bump. That one went up 47% today. PVAX, our oil stock, went up 30% today, and that was in the red. We're now well out of the red. Viad, which is the epitome of a travel stock, that went up 37% today. PBF is an oil stock that we had. It was negative, went up 34% today. Now we're firmly in the black. Norwegian Cruise Line we don't own. Went at 26% today, so that's awesome. Obviously, if you say there's a vaccine, the cruise lines are just loving life. Red Robin's behind that, 27% today, went up. And actually, we just sold this one. It's fine, no big deal, because we put the money elsewhere. Reading International, it's your theater chain. That went up 37% today. Of course, theaters going up would be important. Boom, boom, boom. Let me make sure this is the theater one. Yeah, multiplex cinemas. Cinemark went up 47% today, almost 48% today. If you look at it for the week, just jammed up. It's just awesome, awesome, awesome for that. Don't own it. That's okay. Not a big deal. Spirit Airlines, the worst stock in the world, at least the worst airline in the world, went up 20% today. Do not own it and will not own it. Carnival went up 40% today as well. Cruise ships. Ryman Hospitality Services, another travel stock, went up 38% today. AMC went up 55% today. That's insane. That's not even the top performer today in my watch list. Soho, did we look at this one? Yeah, we looked at this one already. So we'll close that one down. And then Sasol went up 27% today. And it's a petrochemical company, basically. All right, and then Dave & Buster's went up 33% today. So overall, really, we can get into all this stuff here. I feel bad for these people where it says tech glitches at Schwab, Fidelity, and online brokers meant some missed out on Monday's monster rally. Should have bought positions before Monday. I kept telling you guys, maybe that was you, but I kept telling you guys buy, and you really don't want to be there when the doors close. So sucks for them. Anyway, all right, so let's take a look at what we looked at before. Let's see. We basically went from, let's see if we can't find this here. All right, we'll go to our Google Drive, go to our stock screener. And by the way, you can download our spreadsheet. All right. So I'll show you where we're at before and where we're at now. right, we get that. Do later. All right, so we look at it before. We basically had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stocks in the red. 10, 14, 12, 5, and 10. And then we had 31 and 88. So, and then we look at today. 88 still there because that's GNC. They're in bankruptcy. They're a floater stock. 31% turned into 25%. That's pretty awesome. UCO went from 10% to 5%. And we'll be in the black pretty soon with that. PVAC went from negative 6% to up 37. Is that? No, I take that back. That's Soho. Went down from negative 6% to positive 38% in one day. Look at IVR. Is that what we're looking at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we'll look at PBF. Went from negative 12% to positive 10. IVR, which we just bought recently, went from 14% negative to negative 7. They'll be in the black soon enough. ICAGI went from negative 11 to positive 12, basically. And we went from having we don't need to open this anymore, just so it's, went from, portfolio amount went from 86,450 to 98,743. Over the weekend, we also bought FANG. That allowed us to take that gain today. We bought it for $12.50. It's now worth almost $1,600. It's up 25% just from that buy. So we can clear that out. All right, we're going to talk about Helix in a moment. So went in, basically updated all the candidates, looked at the upside and sorted by upside. This was in the 6 and 5s before. This obviously has dropped a lot. So I was trying to think, okay, is there anything, considering the market's probably on its way up again, and there may be some pullback initially, but as a macro, the market's going to be up. Is there anything we can buy? And so initially I looked at Texas Holdings, which we had sold not too long ago at 3.56, and that's doing okay as a whole. And that one's jumped, from 0.7 to 142. So we missed out on that one a little bit, but that's fine. But the other one that I wanted to look at was Helix, which is, we'll take a look at Helix here. So we'll go down. How about we'll just do this, HLX. So this stock is Helix Energy, international offshore energy company. So they basically drill they do construction, maintenance, and salvage services for the oil industry. So they don't drill, but they provide all the equipment. So let's see. So with that being said, it went up 22% today. Normally I don't like to buy something after the gain, but today's just such a unicorn, day that we'll look at it. But we're looking at a 78% buy rate, which you can see right here. 78% of people said to buy, the rest said to hold, nobody said to sell. With basically a 3.1, so it's sitting here 3.8 or 3.9 upside. So it's sitting here at 3.09. And I thought, okay, well, I don't necessarily want to have to buy it at this point. Maybe there'll be a pullback. So I said, okay, I'm gonna buy it. We'll put in a limit order at 250. We'll buy 600 shares, and if so, it'll cost 1,500. It'll give us a 3.5 times upside, and we'll see what happens. I might bump this up to 2.75, but it gives us an opportunity to get our stock in at that point. Let's take a look and see if there's any other stocks that did not gain, which I think there were a few of them, but some of them are really good stocks, and there aren't many. So Every, that is 100% buy rate. That's our casino ATM manufacturer, so that's going to be fine. And I think, where do we have as far as equity on that? I think we have a bunch in there, about $5,000 in Every, so probably not going to touch that. Let's see. And then DraftKings, that's just a different stock. It goes contrary to what we normally have. Normally the non-COVID stocks we have are biotech stocks like Vine and things like that. But DraftKings is a betting stock, so we're going to leave that one alone. That one's pretty good. If it gets down to 38, maybe I'll take a look at rebuying some shares. But our cost basis, I think, is 34. Yep, 34 right here. So we go down a little bit farther. Let's see, that's the Every. That might be the only one. Those might be the only ones that are red today. And Iova is a biotech company. We'll probably stay away from that because that really is not our specialty. AVCT, we sold recently at 4.09. That's kind of an anti-COVID stock, a little bit of a hedge that we had in there, and DraftKings. So that's about it. I will say let's look at Bitcoin for a little bit because that one's jumped for a little bit. If we look over the last 3 months, this one's been on a nice little tear. It was down at 10,000 for a while. And realistically, it got down to about 5,000, and now it's up to 15. So we'll see what it does. Not necessarily my specialty. All right. So with that being said, I think at this point we're in profit-taking mode for right now because we have good news. I do have a stock. If it goes down, we'll get Helix. If it goes up, XAN is getting closer and closer to hitting our sell point of 3.22. If it hits that, we'll sell that, clear out $4,000 to reinvest. And then Yuko just needs to get up to 32 again, which, that won't be a problem. They're a trailing indicator of other oil stocks. So if that's the case, we'll sell some of them, reinvest that, and put it someplace else. But overall, leaders in the clubhouse. All right, leader in the clubhouse, Signet, which is ironic because it really didn't move today. If we take a look at Signet, it's kind of crazy. Our best performer on the best stock day of the year. Where is this guy? Went up 9%. You'd think that would be the top performer, but that's like pittance. So it's up 278, almost quadruple of what we are normally doing. Next one up is Caesars at 250, basically 3.5 times. From there we have Redwood Trust, which is a REIT, which is over triple. We have Crestwood Equities, an oil company. It's about triple. And then we have a bunch in... We have a few, let's see, Every is our ATM company, PVAC's our oil company, and then we have a bunch of them, and then Azul Airlines, which is the Brazilian airline, and then the rest are on their way up. So we'll see what happens. I'm guessing I might put a limit order in, sell order for IVR at 7%, but we'll take a look at that. I have a big investment. Maybe I'll divest some of that. So we'll talk about putting IVR in here. And how many shares do we own of this guy? 1,920. Let's just round it off. Call it 920. And there, 3.37 is ours. We'll just call it 3.4 because we don't take a loss. That's just the house rule here. Color this yellow just to make sure we know about that. And... current price is all right. Let's see. Are there any others we want to do? Yuko, we're going to do some. And I was looking at this earlier. PBF, oil, we're going to let ride. That's just what we're going to do. Ikagi just looks so good. We're not going to touch that either. Fang is another oil stock. I don't know. Vine Therapeutics is 100% buy. It's hard to say no to that. So, I don't know. Beyond that, we're probably just going to let it ride. But our portfolio is up near 100. We talked about wanting to get to, 70, 90,000 by next week. We're already above that. We're close to getting 100,000. And overall, we have, a 58% increase on what we bought each stock for. And then based off of our initial deposit of about 34,000, we just went up 40% today. So percent gain, basically we're up at 131, which is awesome. Hopefully we'll get up to 150 pretty soon. But with that being said, we'll take a look at the market for tomorrow. It's relatively flat. We'll see what happens early. This might go down a little bit because people are taking profits. If that's the case, that's fine, but don't be stupid. Do what the other people are doing. You follow what we're doing here. You follow the fundamentals. You let the suckers clear themselves out. You get your positions in and don't let this happen to you. And have a goal in mind. Oh, so with that in mind, and I talked to my wife about this earlier, this is our beach house money. So we're looking to get somewhere about 350 minus the amount we have in our using on margin. So about 325. And that basically is going to pay for, I don't know, probably half our beach house or whatever it is going to be. But that's the vision. Have something to keep your head on straight. That way you don't get swayed by the market. and you have a plan going forward for the long term. So with that being said, we'll see you tomorrow.
To get more information on the sales cheat code, go ahead and click on the subscribe button below. Also, down below in the video description, down there, there's a link that takes you to our website that gives you additional content, some additional freebies that we have, and gives you information on some programs that we have that have been proven to help people to make sales easy so that you can make the kind of money you want, live the lifestyle that you've always wanted, and not have to struggle in the process. And what might be the coolest thing of all is you don't have to put much effort into it. It truly is a cheat code that most people don't know about. And it's a cheat code that can change your life today. So click on the link below and let me help you start to experience these results starting right now.